Good afternoon from the setting sun at Campbelltown Stadium in the southwest of Sydney. It is AFC Champions League 2, matchday 2, Macarthur FC taking on Beijing Guan. Two teams that were shocked and surprised by their results on matchday 1, and that is the state of the group, with Hong Kong's Tai Po leading the way after beating Macarthur, while Beijing were held to a draw by Kong-An Hanoi in their opener. It leaves this group very delicately poised in the eastern region. And as you see the weather tonight, it is windy, but a beautiful 24 degrees and spring environment for these players to enjoy tonight. Pitches looked good during the warm-up as well. Macarthur fans back enjoying continental football again. Second season in 3, and there is a pretty decent contingent, be it travelling fans or Australian-based fans of Beijing Guan tonight. There they are. Expect plenty of noise and colour. They are a well-supported team with a great heritage of playing in Australia as well. In fact, tonight will be the 13th time they've taken on professional opposition in a competitive match. 6 wins, 3 draws, and just the 3 defeats for Beijing Guan. And on their travels to Australia, they've lost in Newcastle, they've lost in Gosford, but they have never lost away in Sydney. So Macarthur will be hoping that they can add their name to the list. The only other team to beat them was actually in Beijing. That was the Brisbane Roar in what is now the Champions League Elite back in 2015. Captain's waiting in the tunnel. Zhong Zijie of Beijing Guan and Luke Bratton of Macarthur. Our officiating crew tonight is from Qatar, making final inspections. You can see the Macarthur kit all blacked out tonight. Beijing Guan are going to be wearing their customary green for this fixture. So while the players wait in the tunnel, joining me in commentary for this one is Phil Moss. Mossy, great to have you alongside me, and we have much higher expectations tonight of both these teams after disappointing results as they would have seen it on match day 1.
We certainly do, Teo. Good evening to you. Beautiful night for football out here at Campbelltown Sports Ground, and you're right, Mile Stojowski said it pre-game, there are no excuses, despite the fact Beijing are in their season and Macarthur are yet to kick theirs off, but a huge, huge game of football coming up for the Australian side tonight.
Well, you mentioned Beijing in the Chinese Super League season. They're sitting 4th on 51 points, only 6 off the top of the league, but they've lost ground in recent times. In fact, a 4-2 win on Friday broke a 4-game winless run in all competitions dating back to the 25th of August. So they went all of September without winning a game in any competition. So they've got a bit of form up. However, and we'll see this when the team cards come out, they've made 6 changes for this away trip in Australia. So the winning team last Friday, not hugely relevant to the team that's walking out onto the pitch tonight.
And it makes it difficult, doesn't it, to do your analysis from a Macarthur point of view, because until very late on in a piece, you don't know who you're going to be up against and what system they may play.
So here come the two teams out onto the pitch here in Campbelltown for AFC Champions League 2, matchday 2, Macarthur FC against Beijing Guan. And both sides will line up for the Champions League 2 anthem, part of one of the new traditions of this competition in just its 2nd season. So the Anthem, a good chance to get a look at all the faces and profiles of our participating players. And now handshakes take place. Kickoff not too far away. So it gives us the chance to look at who's in and out for both sides. We'll start with the home team, Macarthur. Due to suspension, Callum Talbot is out for this match. He was red carded on match day 1. Alexander Robinson's away with the young Socceroos at the moment. It means 2 changes to the starting 11. Shime Grosjean moves to the bench. Harry Sawyer will start up top in his absence, and Will Mackay is the player that comes in at fullback due to the Talbot suspension. There's a look at who's on the bench. 12 substitutes available for Macarthur after only taking a shortened bench to Hong Kong on match day 1. And there is tonight's starting 11. It's a very tall Macarthur team. Harry Sawyer standing among other giants there. Uskok, Kurto, also Randazzo amongst him. Officiating crew led by Mohamed Al Shamari of Qatar. He's never refereed an Australian national team or club, but has refereed the Chinese national team under 23s and under 17s. He's never refereed a Chinese club either, so new experience for him. And a completely new face with the whistle as far as both these teams, and almost as far as both these nations are concerned. So Beijing Guan, I mentioned they made 6 changes from the team that won 4-2 against Dalian Yingbo on Friday. So Abasi, Li Lei, Chi Zhongguo, Fen Bojuan, Bai Yang and Fan Shuangji are the players that come into the starting lineup. A bit of reshuffling on the bench, but significantly their starting goalkeeper Sen Hao has not even made the trip. And they do fancy Abasi making just his 2nd professional appearance. Nurali Abasi as their starting goalkeeper, at least in the Champions League for now. There he is, the youthful face of the 20-year-old. Previously a China under-18 international. And he'll be hoping for a better result than the 2 goals he conceded against Koan Hanoi. So Macarthur to attack the right of your screens in this first half. Veteran Cameroonian defender Michael Ngadu watching on. He'll be hoping to keep the centre of defence tight. And it's Macarthur who will be taking kick-off here. Anthony Caceres and Harry Sawyer to get match day 2 underway. Which of these teams can break through for a first win of the group? Uskok ready to go at the centre of defence, and Philip Kurto guarding the net for Macarthur. Players may have separated from their huddles just a little early here, so the referee is happy to wait for everything to run to the second. I think the players are understanding of that as well. Those of you watching interstate or overseas, it's a 5:45 p.m. kickoff here in New South Wales. So we'll kick off in setting sun and finish in darkness. A bit of restlessness from the fans. Bouncing up and down, just trying to keep themselves warm. Hopefully this will lead to a flying start to this contest and good entertainment tonight. Final 5 seconds then, the countdown to kickoff is on. Underway in the AFC Champions League 2 on match night 2, Macarthur FC against Beijing Guan. And Macarthur looking to attack through Harry Politinas right from the off. Harry Sawyer, such a towering figure, but he can't find a teammate with his pass. And now a clip on the ankle of Bosniak, and the referee does see it. So Phil Moss, an early set-piece opportunity here for the home side.
Well, that's a very, very bright start by Macarthur. Anthony Caceres from the kickoff was very direct. And that's a really good position for a foul. Bosniak, who I thought was quite lively in that game against Taipo, for very little return, doing very well to draw the foul. And Luke Bratton, who we know has got a good set piece in him, lines the ball up. Will he go direct for goal? And he'll try and clip it to the far post.
Two players in the wall. Young goalkeeper Nurali Abasi waiting between the sticks. It is a direct shot, and it's a confidence booster for the young shot stopper who's able to hold on to Bratton's strike. And
a sighter for Luke Bratton, good strike. He's never really going to trouble the goalkeeper, but for a catastrophic error. But again, a positive start by the home side, and they have to be. I know what happened against Taipei. They were quite positive and conceded after just a couple of minutes.
Slight deflection off Sawyer, but it's not going to put off Gadu. Step over in midfield. Beijing Guan trying to break the lines in advance. Guo given away. Caceres. Chris Economides. Caceres with the underlapping run. Only Sawyer in the middle. And close checking from the Brazilian defensive midfielder Dawan. Putting it out for a throw-in.
Once again, Anthony Caceres central to this really positive start from Macarthur.
High hopeful cross. Sawyer went chasing it out of the penalty area. Referee's given advantage for the way he challenged for the ball. Zhang Yunying, Chinese centre forward, one of the leading lights of the national team, left isolated on that occasion.
Thought of the performance this evening as of Macarthur right back, Will Mackay. Comes in obviously for Callum Talbot, who's suspended after that last man red card right on the stroke of half-time. Responsibility bestowed upon him tonight by his coach, Mile Sturjovski.
The opposite number is Quique Setien, former Barcelona manager, former Real Betis and Villarreal manager, applying his trade in China. As we see a cross in, and the opening goal for Macarthur. Simple as that. Chris Economides was left totally unmarked, and Harry Sawyer, an unfamiliar role for him to turn provider with the cross in from the right. A strike in just the 4th minute. Advantage Macarthur.
Well, credit Sawyer here. Look, he used his body so well to get away from his defender. He looks up and he sees Economides on the back post. The ball was maybe a little bit fortunate to make it all the way through to that back post, but it's a smart cross and it's a really composed finish from Chris Economides. Haven't they turned the tables on the last time they were out in this ACL2 competition? From conceding early, they've now scored early. That's a very, very good start and a well-deserved lead.
The early strike, but it's very rare you see a defensive penalty area so absent of players. They're completely unmarked, and only one scrambling defender left anywhere near Chris Economides as he struck the ball.
Yeah, it's a good point you make. Teo was very poor defending. They're lining up with a back three, Beijing, and they were caught all at sea there. I mean, it was too easy in the initial period of that goal from Sawyer to get away from his defender, and then the space that he had to hit the ball into. No doubt Beijing manager Quique Setien will be going through the diagnosis on his bench with his staff.
The game taking place almost entirely in Macarthur's attacking half at present. Early free kick, Caceres. Holding off an opponent. Bosniak lunged in with an attempted side foot, but it slid on and was cleared away. Numbers are staying forward. Scott has joined Sawyer as the tall timber. pass. Well, it's going to deflect kindly. Sawyer holding off his marker and held on to by Nurali Abasi. Shot on target for the big man. Now an attempt at route one gives Philip Curto his first touch.
Well, they are all at sea at the back, Beijing. If Macarthur can capitalise and maybe get a second here in quick succession, and they could really do some damage tonight, because Beijing look disorganised at the back every time Macarthur enter their back third. Mackay.
Caceres, great strength, holding off a much taller opponent in Ngadu. Now he's ridden into the ground, and eventually the whistle comes to his aid.
What a start he's having to this game, Anthony Caceres. He's in the zone. He's certainly got kicked from pillar to post against Tai Po a couple of weeks ago. He's absolutely commanding the ball in midfield for Macarthur and making things happen every time he touches it.
Press is engaged, and Ngadu, the veteran defender, well, he used a veteran move there, the 36-year-old. More than 60 caps for Cameroon. He's got great pedigree, but his positioning's been a little off to start this one.
And he's not on his own, but that's good from Macarthur. I don't mind Harry Sawyer giving that foul away. They need to keep the pressure on Beijing and not let them settle into their rhythm.
As your goal scorer, Chris Economides. Mossy, you pointed out in the game against Tai Po that he started at centre forward. Harry Sawyer was subbed on in the second half, and he just didn't come back to that as we see Beijing Guan in possession. To build an attack, but Lille is going to have to turn and retreat. By Young, Ngadu, almost an errant touch to present it to Sawyer. Can't escape the defensive half, but a foul will help him do so. Just on Economides, he started the game at centre forward. He went to the wing in the second half, and it seems as though that wing role is what Mile Stojovski is going to persist with tonight.
Yeah, that's right. What they lacked was Harry Sawyer's physicality up front in that first half. He came on at half-time in that game away and made a huge difference to the way Macarthur played, but just gave that platform, that physical platform.
Slip here from Bai Young. And has opened the door. Bosniak draws his second foul of the game. Not even 10 minutes in. Again, it's in a sort of range that'll keep the defence guessing.
Again, they just caught 6s and 7s. Beijing at the back. On that occasion, it was Beiyang, as you said. They just look nervy every time they're in possession when they're trying to defend Macarthur coming forward.
Braddon spoiled for choice with the targets to aim for here. Curving free kick, which was initially beyond potential lunge from De Silva, and then at the far post, Sawyer not able to do much with it.
It just didn't quite have enough height on it for De Silva to get there. The trajectory of the ball meant it arrived too quickly for those oncoming runners.
Beijing Guan trying to pass through the Macarthur midfield. It's very crowded at the moment, though. Not much space to operate in for Jean Pizet. So a crossfield pass is attempted instead, and Harry Poetides has done well enough to worry Feng Bojuan out of challenging for the ball there, and wins his team a throw-in.
Well, he's done well there, Poetides. His body positioning was just right. He could see the ball, see his defender or his attacker. As was the case, he was able to get close enough for a contest.
Bosniak misdirected his pass. Chi. Now Beiyang. Little tap of the ankles from Harry Sawyer, accompanied by an immediate apology.
Well, he's letting them know they're in a battle. Sawyer is putting himself about early. He's letting those defenders know they're not going to get much change on the ball.
Mackay rises to a volley, but can't twist it to stay in the field of play. Delay quickly retying his shoes. Zhang Yunying, he went for glory on an impossible angle there, and he's blazed away.
What about the touches from Zhang Zizhe in tight areas? Absolutely beautiful to bring the ball under control. And then set his wide man on his way. Wrong choice, of course, in the end. Some wonderful technique from the Beijing captain.
Sawyer's flick header. Bosniak is going to back his pace here at a sprint against Lille. And he almost tripped on the ball there, but Beijing not out of trouble just yet. Mackay's header. Randazzo. Politidis. It's the goal scorer, Economides. Bratton. Happy to slow things down. Reset with Damien De Silva.
Gee, they look sharp on the ball, Teo. Macarthur, they're really, the ball speed is fantastic. They're sure of their touches. And their pace, particularly down this right-hand side for Macarthur, is really troubling Beijing. And I say this with all due respect, not that Harry Sawyer is the quickest player out there, but his strength for that first goal caused them all sorts of problems. And then you've got Bosniak and Will Mackay coming over the top, that's causing them some issues in the pace department. Good early signs from Macarthur.
Perhaps one question is, how patient are Beijing Guan going to be when they can't find any breathing room in midfield? They have been happy to opt for the long ball that's short notice so far. This is better build up, with a kind deflection on the way. Garu. Feng Bojuan out to the right. Zhang Yunying. Then a really loose first touch from Chi Zhongguo gives possession away. Not the sort of thing you expect from a player with 21 caps for his country, Mossy, to just have the ball balloon off his first touch there at a fairly regulation pass. He can make amends right here. Gizet out to the right side. Slight challenge came in to dispossess Feng Bojuan. Mackay encouraged to advance. The right back bombing forward here. The chest of Ngaru. He's got help from Dawan.
That's where Mackay just needs to be a little bit more patient with the ball. He was trying to force a pass or a cross into the area when it wasn't really on. He had Bosniak making a good run outside him. He's got to be smart with the ball in these Asian games against big clubs like Beijing. So what they do is take more than a blink of an eye for them to turn the game, because all their quality is in that top third.
Kurno's about to find that out. Did he foul Zhang Yunying? Referee's not interested. The centre forward for Beijing Guan is still favouring his ankle. A real scare for Macarthur. Play continues, and now the leading marksman is back on his feet, Zhang Yunying, but his closing speed there almost caught Kurno.
Yeah, you can see Curto gets the ball there. His foot does catch the striker. There's no foul in that.
Now he's been trapped offside.
Sorry, Taylor, they want to be careful. They don't want to be gifting Beijing any opportunity to get back into this game. Here it is again on the replay. You can see Curto's touch was heavy, there's no doubt about that. Gee, it's risky business when you release the ball. You come into contact with the opposition player's foot.
I mean, the follow-through and policing the follow-through, it's very much a VAR era sort of decision, isn't it? The moment has been and gone. There won't be any further ramifications. Bratton. Lele with the initial header. Now he'll clear with his feet. Won't find Dawan, though. Uscock, Mackay, Sharp, Rendazzo trying to burst through to the top of the box. A series of ricochets. Dawan, good first pass. And a foul from Bratton, taking out the legs of Gizet.
Well, again, it was some really good, as we see the foul from Bratton, just to break the play up. So it was a very quick transition moment, but some really positive play down this right-hand side from Will Mackay. Bosniak being very direct with their running.
Uscock makes the intercept. Mackay. Sawyer and Ngadu challenging one another. It's good determination from Chuzhongguo to put himself about. Now he's coming very late here on Luke Bratton, and tempers are going to fray. The whistle had long gone, and there is acrimony here between the teams.
Well, Bratton came in very strongly for the first challenge. He's right in the thick of it here. And then it was the second challenge on Bratton that looked like a bit of retribution from the Beijing Guan player. The referee's going to have to get hold of this. There's been a high intensity to this first 17 or 18 minutes of this game. Macarthur don't want is for anything to disrupt their rhythm, because they're into a nice rhythm. They're dictating possession.
Referee Mohamed Ahmed Al-Shamari laying down the law. It doesn't appear as though he's reaching for his cards for anyone.
Well, there's the first challenge from Bratton. Look, there's the second one. I think the whistle had already gone for the foul, so that was after the whistle had gone. And that's because it's from behind. Bratton gets the ball quite cleanly, but because it's from behind and he lunges in, the referee's probably made the right decision.
Gee. Bayang. Ngadu. Lele. A patient Beijing Guan trying to build. Dawan. Really clever from Zhang Yunying. Blocked across though. Prevents Zhang Yuan advancing any further.
They're the pockets that Beijing are looking for, just between the lines, and that was well played, one-touch football. Probably missed the chance to deliver early.
Plenty of passes, but where's the gap? In Decisive ball on this occasion. Zhang Yunying, great turn. Looked straight up at two more defenders though. Dawan trying to burst forward. And Randazzo's done well to take the ball cleanly. Short-lived though. Beijing Guan regained possession. Position of the Macarthur defence continues. Ball down the right side. Zhang Yuan to Lilei. Waiting in space. Chi Zhuangguo. And even though there's a little bobble from Kurto, he does make the save.
Yeah, it was a good strike from Chi Zhuangguo. Kurto had to have his body behind it because he didn't get it cleanly with his hands at the first attempt. Just a sighter for Beijing.
Thomas Labuskok. Shots for handball. The play continues. Randazzo helps out Bratton. Politidis. Economides. Through comes Harry Politidis with real energy, bursting forward. Set it just a little too far out in front of Sawyer. The covering defender Bai Yang was able to get it back to his keeper. Macarthur sparking back to life. Now a pass from Bratton that nearly had the backspin on it to loop into the path of Economides after he made his run from deep.
That's good play from Macarthur again. Chris Economides making that forward run. Bratton spotting the run. Wasn't too far off, being a really good ball over the top of the Beijing defence. But again, the way Macarthur played out from the back, under pressure in the tight area on the right-hand side, and then changed the point of the attack to the far side. Really impressive.
Things quite static ahead of the ball here for Beijing Guan. Who's going to force the issue? Zhang Zijie might be the man to do it. Garu, ball over the top, Lilei. He stayed onside, and he shoots straight at the keeper. Perhaps the attack of the night so far, though, from Beijing.
Yeah, Lilei just sprung the defensive line of Macarthur. It was Will Mackay just got caught ball watching, I should say. It's a warning for the young defender. He's got to stay 100% focused and concentrated.
Plenty of end-to-end now. Politidis fashions across. Bosniak. Caceres blocked immediately. Bratton retrieves. Sawyer has to chase the ball away from the target. Mackay. First time cross, plenty of whip on it. So much so that it's knocked over his own teammate, Chris Economides, and it's out for a goal kick.
A little bit too much pace, a little bit too much swerve, bend. It had everything. That ball from Mackay. One thing against sides like Beijing, they've got to, Macarthur, turn this dominance into goals. They've got the go-ahead goal, of course, very early on, but their enterprise going forward deserves a second one, but until you get it, Beijing are one attack away from being back in the game.
Bratton. Bosniak will chase the ball down. Sizes up his opponent. And then is steered away. Randazzo. Mackay. Caceres. Driving the ball. Sawyer. had two defenders to try and beat. However, Caceres reloads. And now Bratton first time. High and wide.
Oh, they're hard ones to strike, and he's gone for the laces, Bratton, instead of probably the instep, which would have been a better option. The ball coming from that angle onto him. But again, it's down this right-hand side that Macarthur are causing all sorts of problems for Beijing. Bosniak involved in most things that are good. Will Mackay getting involved from fullback. Caceres is lively.
Now a high press has spilled the ball. Sawyer cuts it across, and it's cleared at the last by Guan. Wonder if that was too unselfish from Sawyer.
I think it was. I thought he was going to pull the trigger.
Here's Politidis now bursting into the box. Will it sit for him? Not quite. He steers it back to Bosniak. Now he's caught almost in possession. Randazzo, Politidis popping up on the opposite flank. Good header away by Ngadu. He's really set himself for marking Harry Sawyer tonight. The counter-attack might be on here. Zhang sends it out to the right, and good covering defence from De Silva. Feels like another goal is not too far away with the risks that both teams are taking.
Yeah, that's right. But gee, I think Sawyer, if he had that opportunity again, he would have just pulled the trigger right across the face of the goalkeeper, Abassi. He had the whole far post to aim at. I know it was a bit of an acute angle. They're the chances that you've just got to take to drive the nail in.
The offside flag traps Zhang Yunying for the second time in this game tonight.
Yunying went for the first time crossing. He was offside, so it's a moot point, but he was crossing it to no one because there was no other Beijing player within QE of the penalty box.
Ngadu rising against Sawyer, flick headed by Guan. Lille. Ngadu, in his time, didn't like the long ball on that occasion. We know that he will play it if he sees an opening.
Well, Politidis was playing ducks and drakes with him. He was threatening to come in and track his runner into midfield. He stayed flat enough to make sure that he had the winger covered. It's good defending.
Draws another foul. Could have been fouled a couple of times there in that particular challenge.
It's been impressive, Bosniak, in that game, as I said a little bit earlier, away from home, Taipo. I thought he was really impressive in the first half, particularly. For no return, he's had a very lively first half an hour here tonight as well.
Caceres, here is Bosniak. Stuck the ball between his feet, but he bounces back up and keeps the attack going. Reaching out to intercept by Yang. It was important. It was hard against the sideline. Macarthur can protest, but it is out for a throw-in.
Hear Mile Sturjovski's thoughts on that, whether the ball had crossed the line or not.
His turn to go. Sawyer not quite pressing him to the last, just leering over him. This back pass will have to be retrieved by Bay. Shortage of confidence in the Raleigh Abasi as he clears long. Damien De Silva able to find Mackay. Sawyer holds the ball up. Caceres. Wozniak outpointed one-on-one by Lille. Economides now, deflected cross. Sawyer's up for the header. Not able to quite get over the ball though, just looping kindly into the keeper's gloves.
Yeah, again, good play. This time down the left-hand side from Macarthur. Economides, Caceres, Politides all involved. Economides with the cross in the end, and Sawyer just couldn't attack the ball. He was moving backwards to deal with the height of the cross. Another promising attack by the home side.
And Garu, they've been in this position plenty of times during the half. Beijing Guan, and the repetition eventually lead to the unblocking of the Macarthur defence. Not with that pass. Overhit.
Well, overhit, but fantastic organisation by Macarthur. You can see Milo Sturjovski and his staff have really drilled their defensive structure into them. The coordination, their understanding of their roles defensively and how compact they've been so far, it's really given Beijing very little opportunity.
Ball sent back right out from whence it came. The other game in the group later tonight is Kongan Hanoi against Taipo. That's at 10:15 p.m. Australian time, which is in just under 4 hours from now, depending on where you're watching around the world. So I'm sure some Macarthur players and some of the Beijing Guan players will be up late watching, and others will be fast asleep and happy to hear the result tomorrow. Both teams think it's their ball. Macarthur get the nod. Caught in possession. Dewan, a beautiful bending ball. Kurto is out of his line. Zhang Yuning advancing, but the goalkeeper sharp.
Well, there's an example of how quickly they transition to attack. Beijing, they've got the quality to do it. Kurto was alert to the danger, but you don't want to be coughing up possession in those areas. Just overplaying slightly their hand, Macarthur.
Flag is up over on the opposite side of the pitch. So offside is the call, and the referee is saying put it on the ground. It's not a throw in. Yeah, bit of a misunderstanding. He's saying, are you sure you want me to run over to the right touchline to take the free kick? And in the end, his defender does kick it back into the defensive penalty area. Zhang Yuan. Ngaru. De Silva. Kicks to clear. Puts a course to chase out in front of Sawyer.
I've got to say too, Teo, the pitch might not look aesthetically at its best, but it certainly played well. It's allowed both teams to pass the ball around well. The ball speed's been good, crisp passing. Players haven't had to worry too much about their first touch. It's always a good sign of a surface.
Surface that Damien De Silva was sent sprawling into, and right in front of the very vocal pocket of Beijing Guan fans, Zhang Yining is blown up for a free kick.
I'm not sure. It's just the referee on that side. On the Christmas card list. Those Beijing supporters who are adding real atmosphere to tonight.
That's as exercised as we've heard them at any point in the game. It's mainly been singing in support, but on that occasion voicing their displeasure. The question is, will it lift the team out on the pitch? High play in the stands continues. Duan, pass. Bayang can't clear beyond Bratton, and Bratton braced for impact and drew the foul.
He knew what was coming, didn't he? Bratton, he did well to get the ball down off his chest. And just got his body in between defender and ball. Aware of what's coming behind him, draws the foul, takes the pressure off his team.
All the tall timber forward for this long-range free kick. Bratton driving, De Silva is hope, and Garu clears away. Zhang Yining tried to shimmy his way past Mackay there, but ultimately couldn't control the ball. Frustration builds for Kike Setien. Exactly how much of that frustration goes beyond his translator is another matter.
That was almost a carbon copy of the goal. Throw in down the right-hand side to the feet of Sawyer. Unfortunately, that time he was pinged for a foul.
Shangzhui, definitely not one of the players that has been entrusted to play a forward pass.
And once again, just really solid defensive structure from Macarthur. You can see Caceres and Sawyer as the front two in a 4-4-2 defensive formation. So a little bit of angst once again. Surprise, surprise, Luke Bratton at the centre of it.
Well, Bratton, I think quite rightly took exception to Zhang Yuan standing over him there after winning that free kick.
Yeah, absolutely. He's not one to take a backward step. He's Bratzy.
Referee breaks it all up, and the ball is once again both teams' focus. Dawan, little drag step to keep the ball, and look at the explosion up to the halfway line. Pass not quite able to match. Latidis trusting Kurto with the back pass, and Kurto slices it out into the bay of Beijing fans.
Well, there's the bobble that comes off the back of the commentator's curse, isn't it? After just giving the surface a wrap, Kurto cops a bobble as he's trying to clear the danger.
So do Beijing Guan have a long throw routine? It appears as though they don't. Yining trying to make it all happen, and he untangles himself from Randazzo. The fans make their voices heard, but there didn't appear to be a great deal of misplaced aggression. Beijing have the ball regardless. Duan. Gizet. Fengbo twisting and turning, and he was spinning around in circles, not able to actually advance.
Well, that's a lesson in Excellent defending from Harry Politidis for young players. Watch the ball, not the feet. Stuck to his task then. Did it exceptionally well.
Ngardou's long ball, Lillet. Well, the second time in this match that Ngardou was trying to combine with Lillet, this would have been offside.
Well, it was offside, but nonetheless, there was some confusion there between Mackay and Curto. There needs to be better communication. As you can see there, Curto thinks Mackay's going for it. Mackay thinks Curto's coming for it. It doesn't take much more than that to find yourself the opposition putting the ball in the back of your net.
So a restart from the offside. Randazzo's header. Chi. Bratton. Caceres turning right into a challenge, and the referee said a legal one. Caceres slaps the turf in frustration. Dawan, and now the whistle comes. Free kick.
Hey! Just happened a second ago, man. Hold it, come on, hold it!
Lillet caught in possession. Caceres doing well. Who's breaking for him in the middle? Bosniak. And now Caceres with the cross. And the referee said the push from Economides was too much.
Yeah, it was only two hands in the back on that occasion from Economides. But again, some wonderful pressure from Caceres to force the turnover. And then he was patient enough to bring in Bosniak. And the delivery to the back post was just a little bit too high for Economides to deal with.
Brett makes an intercept. Sawyer was hoping to shuffle it out to the left flank, but couldn't get the pass away.
So it's been a very high-octane performance from Macarthur this first 42 minutes or so, Teo. And given they're not in season, the question remains how long of the game can they maintain that type of strategy. Of course, that can go to the bench and bring on some fresh legs. It's been a really impressive first half.
Zhang Yuning brings the ball down. Dawan, tempted by a long shot. Zhang Yuan's crossfield pass was intercepted, and the counter-attack is away. Economides is motoring. Politidis right there with him in support. Chris Economides all the way to the edge of the box. Caceres. He shoots it straight into Ngardou. Bratton did well to trap the ball. Politidis. A low cross, half volleyed away by Ngardou again. What initially was a bit of an accidental attack there from Beijing Guan. Zhang Yuan played the ball almost on the ground, and he played in Zhang Yuning, only for a counter-attack to follow. Players seemingly refereeing themselves here, telling the referee it's a head injury, and the referee eventually obliges.
Yeah, it's Oliver Randazzo, who's been doing some of the grunt work in midfield. Bratton's been the one on the ball more often than not. Randazzo's been doing the dirty work. That time he just copped a little bit of a don't argue. But that last attack from Macarthur obviously saw Economides burst forward. He took it well on the chest, bursted forward. Politidis was absolutely gunning to get outside him, but Economides stayed wide. What he needed to do was drive for the penalty box and let Politidis get over the top of him. And he just sensed that the attack might have turned out a little bit better for the home side.
And this was prior to that counter-attack where Zhang Yuning was played into good position, but just indecision here, Mossy, from the visiting team.
Yeah, they just can't, and there's the break away from Economides, but they just can't find the pockets of space they're looking for, and that's credit again to the Macarthur coaching staff and how they've analysed the opposition, set their team up tonight. Plenty of numbers around the ball, deep in their half, and then they attack with purpose.
Well, we barely had a delay in this game, only now for 2 additional minutes to be tacked on, largely motivated by this treatment here for the eye poke for Oliver Randazzo. Medic's on the walkie-talkie here, so at least aesthetically from this distance, Mossy, it doesn't look like it's flared up or there's been any blood drawn, but clearly it's an issue if the assessment is taking this long.
Yeah, you can just get some watery eyes. Take a little bit of time to get your focus back. Let's hope it's not too serious.
And with halftime looming, perhaps an opportunity here for Beijing Guan, even if it is only a brief spell of 11 versus 10. Danso is already shouting to the central referee to wave him back on, and there you go. 11 versus 10 lasted all of about 3 passes. Back to 11 versus 11.
Well, it wasn't going to impact their compactness. They just went to one up front.
And on one bounce, Curto is starting to become very familiarised to the patterns of attack of Beijing Guan. And do you imagine that Kike Setien's game plan will change a great deal in the second half? Or perhaps the wind, if anything, is favouring the left of screen that Beijing Guan are attacking, so maybe playing into the wind might require a different approach?
Yeah, look, it may do. That'll be up to him, of course, but where they're not getting much joy is looking for those pockets, because Macarthur is staying so compact. Switching the point of the attack really is where they might start to open up some holes in the Macarthur midfield. They seem to be going 2 and 3 passes to get to the other side of the field rather than a more direct route.
So entirely at the discretion of the referee now. If we do play a complete 3rd minute due to the Randazzo treatment. Dawan's pass. Zhang Yunying. Can Beijing strike late? Zhang Yuan and Curto. Oh, he didn't quite grab it, but he had Thomas Lavuskok there protecting the fall of the ball, and that allowed him to rake it back in.
Nervy moments for Macarthur, and not for the first time. As we see Beijing get down that left-hand side this half, that Curto hasn't grabbed the ball at his first attempt.
And indeed, that last attacking foray, he completes the first half. Chris Economides with the early goal, and Macarthur FC with the ascendancy. You feel as though Beijing have a few more cards to play in this one, though, and Macarthur would love more goals to build a bit more of a buffer. For now, though, the game is very delicately poised. Big halftime team talk coming up for both managers here. Neither of these two teams want to be winless after the opening 2 games, but it is Macarthur who've put their best foot forward for now. And at halftime, it is Macarthur FC 1, leading Beijing Guan 0.
Flying high as the champions of the sky, and this year, even high, best airline in the Middle East, world's best business class, best business class lounge. And yes, still a Skytrax 5-star airline. That's a lot of bests, but none of it happens without the best passenger. Thank you for flying with us, and for voting for us. We go further because of you.
I landed in an unexplored territory. I saw things you wouldn't believe. I was the first, but I wouldn't be the last. This land is calling.
Football teaches us how to win, as well as how to accept defeat gracefully. Then go on to do our best in the next game.
Trail boys. Let your opponents and teammates remember your name. Let play a role in the future of football. With Kelby, leave your mark.
Back, Dave, left. Come on, hey, strong legs, come on! Come on, hey, strong legs, come on!
Welcome back to Campbelltown Stadium. We're at halftime of this AFC Champions League Two contest. It is Macarthur FC 1-0 up thanks to Chris Economides' goal against Beijing Guan 0. Both teams back out onto the pitch for the second half. It's become quite a chilly night. Start of October, it might be spring, but it certainly isn't an early harbinger of summer just yet. And the rather ferocious winds, Mossy. It might have been 24 degrees at kickoff, but it seemingly has cooled down quite significantly for both teams.
Certainly outside the 4 white lines, but inside there was plenty of heat in that first half, wasn't there, Teo? It was a really good contest between two sides who haven't come for a draw tonight. Macarthur, I think, were on the front foot right from the start, got their early goal, and they'll be looking to put 2 good halves of football together tonight.
No change to either team at halftime either. Neither side opting for substitutions just yet. And that whistle gets us underway in the second half with Macarthur FC leading Beijing Guan 1-0. Will we see familiar patterns of play immediately resume, or under new instruction can Beijing chase this game? Dawan. Shuangji plays it out to the right wing. Fen Bourgeois. Well, he's able to win an early corner. And while the set-piece game has been prominent in Macarthur's attacks, not quite the same for Beijing so far.
No, but Beijing did a Macarthur on Macarthur from the first half. Macarthur had the kick-off. They were very positive from the off, and Beijing have started the second half just the same way.
Over to take the corner kick. 34 years old, 37 caps for China in his career. The outswinging corner is emphatically headed away by Macarthur. Chi back to Fan. Shanshui to evade the press of Harry Sawyer.
He's worked hard, the big man from Macarthur up front, Sawyer. Hasn't had a lot of change for his hard work in the first half, albeit he had the assist for the goal that he did so well for. Hasn't won much in the air tonight against a couple of big defenders.
Economides has drawn the attention of 2 defenders, and he tried to slalom through, but it was his opposing striker, Juning, who was able to win the ball away eventually. And then we saw in that first half, Oli Randazzo got a poke in the eye, but seemingly no issues have flared up during halftime, no swelling, so he's able to continue.
He gives good balance to that midfield next to Luke Bratton and Randazzo, as we see Sawyer just dish out a little bit. A little bit of retribution to Nagado.
Might be long memories from the first half there. You remember the early flashpoints before the big. No cards came out of it. You wouldn't even call it a brawl. It was more just heated words. Luke Bratton was stood over after Macarthur here. Sawyer is not going to press this one all the way back to the goalkeeper.
Just going back to that balance in midfield with Oli Randazzo next to Luke Bratton. You know, they're both prepared to get stuck in. Randazzo certainly gives Bratton some freedom to do what he does on the ball. You know, his range of passing is fantastic, one of the best in the A-League.
Politidis wins possession. Sets Economides away. Numbers in the middle. Economides veers onto his right. And then across just a little shallow. Macarthur able to stoop to the header. Lille driving a left-footed clearance.
Again, I thought Economides should have delivered that first time with his left foot. By the time he cuts back inside onto his right, the Beijing defence has been able to get themselves set, defend the cross.
running neatly. Bosniak. Gadu remains the obstacle that Macarthur are struggling to bypass. Able to catch him in no man's land, really, in the first half on the goal. He was neither chasing Sawyer on the wing nor marking in the middle. He was at the edge of the penalty area for the goal. Bratton, a little bit sore on the back of the knee here. He's trying to speed back up to a sprint.
He didn't get that one right. Bratton, he just got the timing a little bit off. Had the foul away and came off second best. Seems to be moving okay now.
Back to stay with play. Hopeful cross from the left. Dawan trying to make ground late. It became awkward. It really dipped late on the wind and required a header behind for a corner.
Maybe just turning the screws a little bit here, Beijing. Early stages of this second half. Second corner. Using the wind to their advantage with that ball holding up from the cross.
Couple of corners to start the second half of Beijing. Zhang Yunying's header. Macarthur players running into each other, such as their desperation to clear. Bratton able to get it out. You saw him again, still just testing his knee before that corner kick. Think back to the first group game against Taipo, where we were speculating as to whether he'd picked up a genuine rib injury or was just bruised as a result of being run into and fouled quite hard.
He's a competitor, Luke Bratton. He's a tough cookie. He won't play this many years in midfield in the A-League, an Asian competition. Made of tough stuff.
Gadu, long ball, as we've become accustomed to seeing from him, and perhaps that's why the Macarthur defence was so well prepared. Nearly launching a counter-attack. Politidis quick to return to his position at left back. Feng Bourgeois, driving crossfield ball. Zhang Yunying tries the spectacular. Overhead kick from outside the penalty area.
He's tried the spectacular, but it would have had to have been miraculous to have troubled Philip Curto from out there. Nowhere near the connection on it that he needed from all of 24, 25 yards.
He's had a pretty fruitless season in the Chinese Super League, just 3 goals in the league campaign in 23 matches, Zhang Yunying. In stark contrast to the Chinese national team, where he scored 2 of their 3 match winners. They only won 3 games in Australia's World Cup qualifying group, of course. And it was Zhang Yunying who popped up with the winner both against Indonesia and also against Bahrain. So scored almost as many goals for his country over the course of the club season as he has for his actual club side. Perhaps such as his desperation to shoot every time he gets the ball so far tonight. And Economides thought he was away, but the referee has seen an infringement. He's arguing it was off his face, and I think he's got a pretty good case.
Yeah, I think so.
There should be VAR. Play on until he scores, and then VAR.
Here, Mile Stajovski coming through the effects microphone there saying, if we had VAR, it would be play on until he scores. Obviously, clearly quite confident that Chris Economides was going to take that chance all the way in and score.
Confidence from the first goal of the night, no doubt. Playing in his coach's mind. I think he'd be pretty happy with what he's seeing. Mile Stajovski, obviously they want the result tonight, but the amount of work he's done on that dressing room over the off-season. 5 players out. give or take 7 new faces. Of course, we may yet see tonight a couple of those. Rujan and Rafael Martinez, Mexican striker, who comes with a fair bit of fanfare.
Both waiting in the wings on the Macarthur bench. And you're right, it is a credit to Stajovski and how he's been able to rebuild his team on the run after so many pieces have just been consistently sold since the January transfer window opened mid-A-League season. Right now, Macarthur seem perfectly happy to let Beijing own the ball in their defensive half, because when they venture forward, they're not creating a great deal, as De Silva at least gives them an attacking half throw-in. Looks as though there is going to be change, and that looks like Guga, the Portuguese midfielder, who's one of the subs who's been summoned to get ready. In the meantime, Caceres breaking. And Garu was following. And that's a really sharp back pass. Murali Abasi able to make ground and avoid conceding a corner.
Yeah, Abasi did well then. The ball was favourite to go over his byline. He had to get clean connection very quickly, and he did well.
That looked like it was Fabio Abreu, the former Angola international, so a couple of the other foreign players in this Beijing Guan squad. Are they going to be the catalysts to get them back into this game? 11 that started the match, toiling away in the meantime. Randazzo, Politidis. Caceres, a deflected cross, kind for Sawyer, not quite. Goalkeeper bats it away. Caceres. Economides. Politidis has done well to find a pocket of space. Cuts it back. Economides deflected away. That was crucial from Fan Shuangji. It goes out for a corner.
Absolutely crucial intervention there, because that was wonderful play. You can see Sawyer is inches away from getting something on that, which invariably would have ended up in the back of the Beijing net. Some really enterprising play down this left-hand side. Economides central to it. Caceres, Politidis as well.
Luke Bratton enjoying the banter of taking a corner right underneath the bay of fans that are here to support Beijing Guan. Plenty within earshot. He's loving it. He's having a great time. So, corner kick. Macarthur have had plenty of free kicks, corners. This is their first of the night.
He doesn't want to miss-kick this one, Bratz.
Outswinger. The Beijing drummer tried to time a little tap to try and put him off. It didn't quite work. Bratton's been floored in the meantime. Randazzo, second ball in! Two for Macarthur! And it's Tomislav Uskok who has turned it in at close range and doubled the home side's lead.
Tommy Uskok, the executioner, but it was Randazzo who created the magic on the right-hand side, combining with Luke Bratton. And then he turned his defender inside and out and delivered an absolutely lethal cross. Here he is on the right-hand side, Randazzo. Look at that, cuts inside. That's a wonderful delivery. The Beijing defence again at 6s and 7s. But this is a crucial moment here. Back into his left foot, Randazzo delivers it nice and flat with a little bit of tail. And Uskok, one of the easiest finishes of his career. A great Macarthur goal.
And so a double substitution goes through, but not under the circumstances that Beijing would have been hoping for, because they have conceded in the build-up. So Guga and also Fabio Abreu are on. Lots of early touches for Guga off the bench. So Zhang Yunying's night of frustration is over. And also Chi Zhongguo, the player making way because Fabio Abreu is here. Turn that cross towards one of his teammates. Really nicely done by Bosniak. Randazzo, crossfield pass. Macarthur full of confidence. Economides. He drew two defenders and the second one won the ball away. But Politini storming through. Crossing in. Clearance only as far as Economides. Breaks left. And in between two defenders. Bosniak not able to rise at the far post. Macarthur have turned it up a notch at the hour mark.
They certainly have. They're really tightening the screws. That second goal's given them a mountain of confidence. Economides just couldn't pick out the right delivery. I was just talking a little bit earlier, Teo, about the tough stuff that...
Here's Sawyer. Garu with the clearance away. Sawyer back to his feet. It's going to be a Macarthur throw.
Sorry, I'll just let that play run, but the tough stuff that Randazzo's been getting through midfield tonight. And then he comes up with a piece of brilliance down the right-hand side to lay on that assist for Tommy Uscock. Absolutely outstanding wing play from a central midfielder. Showed a turn of speed, showed the trickery to cut back onto his left foot, and then the delivery was absolutely pinpoint.
There's no doubt he'd be playing with a point to prove because he was part of the under-20 Asian Cup team that won that trophy back in March, but ultimately not selected for the tournament proper, which is going on in Chile at the moment, where the young Socceroos have played 2 of their 3 group games. So I'm sure there'd be that, you're not just starting for an A-League team, there'd be that added level of motivation as well, that you imagine getting to play to let your frustrations out is far better than stewing on it through yet more pre-season track.
Yeah, absolutely, and to get to do it in a competition like this against a big club from China. There's extra motivation.
The question is, what does this big club from China have in store? Because as things stand, they will be on 1 point from a possible 6 in the group. And their next match is away against Tai Po, which, if Macarthur is any evidence, might be quite a tricky assignment. Mossy in the corner of your eye. You've seen perhaps changes of foot for Macarthur.
Looks like Beijing, another couple of subs, substitution potentially coming.
Oh, okay. So perhaps had 2 subs ready before conceding the second goal, and perhaps that's going to cause them to double down. Here is Guga. He played under-19s for Portugal, but no higher level beyond that, and that was a decade ago. Here he is in the build-up, though, trying to show us his pedigree. Mackay got a boot in. The attack continues here for Fabio Abreu. From the right, the cross by Feng Bourgeois. Oh, that looks like a handball by the attacker Li Lei. Play continues though. Dawan. Guga. Feng with the cross. Cleared away by Randazzo. And a misplaced pass from Ngadu leaves Guga stranded as Randazzo comes through and takes the ball. Tries to set away Bosniak, but he's just out of position against Bei Young. Yang is able to get it with a squeeze down the line, and Guga is now back in possession. Bit of build up here from Beijing. First time across from Zhang Yuan is to no one at all, though. So a little moment of quality is followed by a moment of impatience. And now we're going to see more sub-activity. Li Lei, his number is up. Lin Liangming is coming on. And the other sub will be for Feng Bourgeois, and he's coming up for Cao Yongjing. Lin Liangming was actually on the books of Real Madrid from 2015 to 2019 as a youth. 18 caps. He was in the 2023 Asian Cup squad, but has fallen out of favour with the national team. And Cao Yongjing, 5 caps for the China national team. And Mossy, in preparing for this game, one thing that really stands out is how many players in this Beijing Guan team have been given a very short burst, maybe a chance or two in the national team, somewhere between 5 and 20 caps, and then discarded and not really considered again. Yeah,
it's a high turnover of players, isn't it, for a national team? But there's clearly plenty of players to select from. The competition for places, I would imagine, would be white hot in a country the size of China. Interesting, that's now 4 substitutions for the away side. Beijing, Mile Stojovski looks like he might just be about to go to his bench for the first time.
And it is going to be potentially his new Mexican ace, Rafa Duran. The 28-year-old from Puebla with stints at Atlante and Tigres in Liga MX. It's a good standard of competition, and they've signed someone in the prime years of his career, so all you can do is hope that they've found a gem.
Yeah, well, knowing Mille as I do, the due diligence he would do.
Chance here for Beijing Guan. It was Cao Yongjing straight off the bench.
Would be extremely detailed. Looking forward to seeing what he brings. Of course, his footage that we've seen online is impressive.
Can Beijing halve the deficit right here? Both teams protesting, but ultimately last touches off a Beijing player. It's a goal kick. And so we will see Macarthur's first sub, Harry Sawyer. As we see Thomas Lavuskok get some cramps stretched out, but here comes Rafa Duran for the first time for Macarthur.
Yep.
And so the Mexican attacker with plenty of promise. It'll be a 20-minute cameo. Thoughts on Sawyer's game?
Yeah, look, he fought, he toiled hard for his side. He obviously got the assists, some brilliant work down the right-hand side for the first goal, the go-ahead goal, fully deserved. He didn't get a lot of change out of the aerial battles tonight, Sawyer, but he was up against a big, strong, experienced defender in Ngadu. But certainly did his job for the side. He was a good platform in general play. Brought the midfield into the game and pressed hard. His pressing tonight was really impressive. He was always energetic, always forcing Beijing to make quick decisions.
So both Curto and Uskok needed treatment there during that substitution break. Both seem to be moving okay now, but it's worth remembering this is a Macarthur team who played 3 cup ties and then only in the second Champions League group game up against a Beijing Guan team that's 26 matches in their league season. Bratton has stayed down.
Well, he got stomped on, Bratton, as he went up to flick that ball on with his head. See the replay. Certainly caught him. Here it is here. Studs are up and you can just see them catch the back of his right ankle on the way down here. You see it better on this shot here. I think there might have been a couple of studs in his calf as well on the way up. Just there. They don't tickle. But the injury to Uskok before that he needed some treatment for was courtesy of Fabio Abreu, who came absolutely powering through to try and attack that last corner. He got everything on it and went over the crossbar. Into a couple of Macarthur players with him.
It's played right in front of Cao Yongjing. Kiko Setien is now actioned 4 substitutions, so only the 1 card left to flip. Cao's done well there to play that past central, but Uskok with energy. And at the feet of Jean Gizet, Guga, Ngaru, Dewan, Cao Yongjing, deflected cross. Corners are starting to really tick over here for Beijing, but they get to really cause havoc with one of them yet.
Yeah, they are. And what Macarthur can't afford is to get stretched as they start to fatigue and bring on some subs.
Yongjing, Guga at the edge of the box. Guga! Well, it was the right height. He bent it just a little wide.
And again, that's a concentration thing from Macarthur. They didn't switch on early enough to the short corner. There was space on the edge of the box. The pressure to close Guga down wasn't there. And they're the moments at Macarthur they need to be focused if they're to maintain this 2-0 lead. And as they fatigue, concentration, decision-making, 2 of the first things to go.
Say, Cao Yongjing coming on this right wing has certainly provided a bit of initial spark. If that sustains for the remaining 18 minutes of the game, it will cause some headaches. One thing about Macarthur we've observed both in the Cup and in the Champions League Two is that Harry Politaitis is very explosive when he runs forward to attack, but he has been held a bit more defensively accountable tonight. He's now the free rein to roam forward as he sees fit. Macarthur are on the attack here though. Bratton back up and recovered. Randazzo. Economides playing it through. Bosniak, heavy first touch, invited the keeper on, and it was bold goalkeeping in at the feet of the attacker.
Yeah, it was a good attempt at some combination play there between Economides and Randazzo. I don't think the initial ball was meant for Economides. It came onto him very quickly. His first touch was good, and he got his head up and saw the run of Randazzo. Randazzo's first touch, unfortunately, was a little bit too heavy.
Cao Yongjing. Back to Fan Shuangji. Spreading the field right to left, Beijing. Uskok, full body diving header. Cao Yongjing, fleet-footed. And he didn't quite lift the cross. Politaitis puts it behind for a corner kick.
Yeah, he was well positioned, Politaitis, to deal with that. Did well to keep his arms out of it. But again, it's just that pass from Beijing in the top third that's letting them down at the moment. Another set piece.
Here's Guga. Headed away by Rafa Duran. Fifth and final sub is ready to go for Beijing. It's Serginho, the Brazilian who's become a naturalized Chinese international. So he's waiting in the wings. He'd love nothing more than to come on with the deficit halved. Zhang Jizhe can't connect with a teammate. Duran, Caceres, through comes Ngaru, but he only picked out Mackay. And Mackay has got two players over on the left. Oh, Duran was offside. Macarthur technical area. I think it's a razor-thin call.
I'd agree with them, but if you let it go, Economides was well onside.
So Serginho might be a familiar face to Socceroos fans because he actually made his China international debut back in March in the 2-0 win that Australia enjoyed away in China. So on comes Serginho. Square ball, not quite picked off by Bosniak because Zhang was back covering, but perhaps that's indicative of some of the opportunities that might appear as the game stretches. Here's Economides. Bosniak stayed onside. And no, he didn't stay onside. The flag is up. I thought he tailed back in the nick of time. Instead, he is flagged. But it was a ropey clearance.
Yeah, it certainly was. You can see, yeah, he's just offside with the shoulder, the left shoulder. Puts him offside, and really it was good work by Gardo to hold his line there. And exactly what he was doing. It's another near miss for Beijing.
Here's Serginho then, twisting it back inside. Cao Yongjing. Serginho's cross. Throwing himself at the ball there was Fabio Abreu, but it never reached him. Feels like the intensity's just gone up a notch here. A long way from the finish line too. Still just over 13 minutes plus stoppage to go. Looks like Mile Stujovski, having seen Beijing make all 5 of their available substitutions, is now going to respond by bringing on Sime Grosjean and Liam Rose.
I imagine Rose will be a straight swap. Well, for either Bratton or Randazzo. If Bratton's carrying an injury, he wouldn't take that sort of experience off otherwise. Randazzo's got through a mountain of work tonight. Looks like he might just be carrying something, Randazzo.
Well, credit to Beijing. They're not going to die wondering and meekly accept this 2-0 scoreline. They have made the substitutions. They are trying to add a bit of variety to how they attack. The question is, can it yield the so far elusive goal they need for a bit of belief? Guga's pass right here is a misfire, out for a goal kick, and that will prompt the double substitution for Macarthur. Moment of truth as to who's coming off. It's going to be Dean Bosniak making way for Sime Grosjean. And you called it, Mossy. Oliver Randazzo is coming off for Liam Rose. So, thoughts on the 2 Macarthur youngsters making way, Bosniak and Randazzo?
Excellent. Really good tonight. And I said earlier, I thought Bosniak was pretty good over there in Taipo in Hong Kong. And another very good performance, particularly first half. Tonight, Randazzo, I thought he was exceptional in midfield. He did a lot of the stuff that you don't really see because it's not the flashy stuff, apart from the assist for the second goal. Most of the work he did was a hard yakker in midfield to allow Luke Bratton to shine. Very good performance from both of them.
So, far more of a veteran presence coming on. Duran, one of the new import signings during the off-season. Certainly didn't catch our eye quite in Typo. That was pretty eye-catching there, with 2 pandas sitting in the crowd, Mossy, wearing the headgear. They must have looked at the weather forecast. How else could you anticipate the cool change into the evening other than to bring along furry hats like that? Thing is, though, are we heading for a hot finish out on the pitch right now? Macarthur more than happy to have taken a bit of the sting out of the game. It felt like Beijing were building momentum, only for it to dissipate with that double sub, break and play. Now a bit of wrestling for possession.
Well, I must say, Beijing have been reasonably disappointing tonight. They just haven't had that cutting edge. I certainly don't want to put the mock on Macarthur, because one goal could certainly make for a very nervy ending to this game. But Macarthur, for me, have looked reasonably comfortable tonight. They deserve both their goals and potentially a third. They'll be looking for that third, no doubt, just to put this to bed.
On Kike Setien's face on the bench there, perhaps says it all about the Beijing performance tonight. But they still have 10 minutes to go. Shallow clearance here. Bratton, Economides trying to back his speed, and he's able to draw a corner from Fan Shuangji.
Well, I know that was a miss kick from Abassi, the goalkeeper, who's been reasonably good tonight. Just such sloppy giveaway. You expect more quality from the big clubs, and Beijing is a big club. So Economides with the confidence to take his man on inside the corner.
Just a second corner of the night for Macarthur. Bratton right to the teeth of goal. Was hoping for Rafa Duran. It's been headed out for repeat corners.
Rafa Duran's disappointed with himself there. I think he thinks he was favourite to win that. Just didn't quite get enough on the header. It was good delivery from Bratton to pick out the run of the Mexican.
And all this will suit Macarthur just fine. Down their attacking end, can be patient over the set pieces. That corner cleared from the near post. Caceres keeps the ball at Macarthur feet. And as he weaves back into the box, this time it's out of his shins for a goal kick.
He's been exceptional tonight, Anthony Caceres, for me, Teo. He's really made things tick for Macarthur.
We've got a Socceroos squad announcement not too far away. For those of you in Australia, the leaks, well, our leak was out today with Adrian Segicic disclosing that he'd missed the cut. As we see across here, hoping for Fabio Abreu. No leaks about who's in, though, Mossy, and I'm sure that everyone who's had a taste of the Socceroos during a year of Tony Popovic now, primarily World Cup qualifiers and a handful of friendlies, will be sweating on the phone call every time they get close to that selection deadline.
And if you're asking me if Anthony Caceres should be on the plane for those games against Canada and America, games like tonight won't do his chances any harm whatsoever.
Gadu wins possession. Bai Yang. Cut back here. Lin Liang Ming. Deflected pass and cleared away as a result. Who else but Caceres? Time steadily becoming the enemy of Beijing here. Just to grab back one to give them a proof of concept that they can unlock the Macarthur defence. Lin Liang Ming. Another deflected pass. He just can't beat his man at the moment. Fan Shuangji. Cao Yongjing tried to back his speed, but he took on Politidis, who might be Macarthur's quickest. And so a corner the result. Taken quickly. Quick 1-2 with Serginho. Cao Yongjing slipped at the key moment. Things come to a standstill at the feet of Dewan. Serginho. Cao Yongjing, early ball. Guga with the underlapping run. Was that a handball against Bratton? The referee had a good look and he wags the finger at the Beijing protests.
See, that would be an interesting VAR decision, that one. We'll see it here. I think it catches Bratton's elbow, but I'm comfortable that the arm was attached to the body. Of course, what I mean by that is in a natural position, all arms are attached to the body.
De Silva. Economides has been sucked all the way up to the edge of the defensive third, and he's still able to win a free kick for his trouble. Into the last 5 minutes of regulation. Perhaps a look of resignation on the face from Kike Setien. Here's another angle. Oh, it's deflected off his thigh into his arm first, hasn't it, Mossy? And it's, I think, to the letter of the law, if you do track these things with the handball rule, which is always amorphous, perhaps that favours Bratton. Here's Macarthur looking for a third to put it to bed. At the edge of the box, Beijing not quite away yet. Now they're able to clear. Oh, Serginho trotted on the ball, gifted it to Bratton, and Economides tries to capitalise. He went hurdling past Ngadu and wasn't able to draw a foul. The game opening up a bit. Perhaps this will suit Beijing. Can they find a gap? Guga stepped past the ball. Dewan. Serginho straight onto the head of Uscock. And Caceres is dispossessed by Serginho, so play continues.
Macarthur with everyone behind the ball now, really defending their box with numbers, and that's just poor. That is just poor from Beijing. Beiyang, that is exactly what his side did not need. They were just starting to build a little bit of pressure, and to give away possession like that is just criminal at this stage of the game. I think he agrees with me.
Well, it does leave Beijing with a tricky situation in the group. They will be sweating on the result later tonight between Taipo and Kong'an Hanoi, probably hoping for a draw, if anything, just to keep the group from running away from them.
Yeah, that's right. And let's put this result, provided it stays this way, in context for Macarthur. It's a famous victory if they can go on with it.
They would become just the fourth instance of an Australian team beating Beijing Guan. The other three being Central Coast Mariners, Newcastle Jets and the Brisbane Roar. Melbourne Victory had 4 cracks at Beijing Guan, 2 in 2010, 2 in 2020. Came up empty with a draw and 3 losses across the 4 meetings.
Go on, Teo, say it. I know you want to. Who are the coaches?
We'll wait for this phase of play to unfold here, because there could be a third on. Played into the middle, and the finish is good. Chimay Grijan salutes for Macarthur. They have 3. It will be their night, and they have kick-started their Champions League 2 campaign with a lopsided score.
What a way to introduce yourself to your new fans. Chimay Grijan with a shimmy around the goalkeeper and a wonderful finish off the back of a fantastic transition to attack by Macarthur. Wonderful end-to-end football. You can see it here down the left-hand side. Economides picks the pass. Grijan shimmies around the goalkeeper In fact, it wasn't Economides. It was Economides, I beg your pardon. Fantastic early pass, and Grijan with a very assured finish, and that is the final nail in the Beijing coffin.
Rueful shaking the head from Fabio Abreu says it all. The freeze frame on what the defensive penalty area looks like on all 3 goals tonight for Beijing, it would suggest that they didn't set up a defence. When the goals have come, they have really caught Beijing cold tonight.
Yeah, they have. They've just been all at sea, 6s and 7s, betwixt and between, you name it. They've been anything but an organised defensive unit.
Now it is merely cosmetic. Goal difference might matter when the group has decided in the final equation. We've ticked into 3 minutes of additional time. Guga and Serginho waxing, can't complete their 1-2 though, and away comes Caceres. Rare misplaced pass, but through comes Politidis. Is there a 4th on the way for Macarthur? Gaps to be exploited. Here's Rafa Duran. Takes on his man and wins a corner kick. And Macarthur have 2 more subs, a couple of youngsters ready just to clock up an appearance in stoppage time. Walter Scott and Zane Hellway waiting on the sidelines. And those subs will go through now, and the players making way. Harry Politidis, very solid 90 minutes in the books from him. And the other player to come off will be Anthony Caceres, so he gets to take early leave. As we mark those changes, yes, the Mile Stajovski is going to add his name to the list of coaches to have beaten Beijing Guan, which includes Mike Mulvey, Gary Van Egmond, and Phil Moss. Phil Moss, your thoughts on the substitutions we've just seen?
Ah, the memories. Yeah, fantastic. Politidis tonight was fantastic up and down the left-hand side for me. He injected himself well. He did his defensive responsibilities exceptionally well. Anthony Caceres, if there was a man of the match tonight, he gets my vote. I thought he was absolutely outstanding from Macarthur.
Grijan's going to be on a high after netting. However, that cross is into the gloves of the keeper. So if you are watching in Australia on Paramount, 10:15 p.m. Eastern Time, Kongan Hanoi versus Taipo is the other game in this group, which could prove all important. Macarthur aren't done here. They've really got their tails up at the end of the night, and Grijan maybe a little over-exuberant, leaving the ball behind. Waiting now for Walter Scott, the recently arrived sub.
Well, I'd love to know what the difference in spending is for these 2 squads.
Economides looking for another assist. And the ball is cleared by Guga. Liam Rose. Bratton. Bratton! Oh, off the crossbar. And Hellway not able to make the most of the rebound. That was nearly the perfect end to the night.
Well, what a cherry on top that would have been. And Luke Bratton's performance tonight, a real captain's knock, deserved that to go in the back of the net. And there is a good save. You've got to credit Abassi with a fingertip save onto his crossbar. But this has been a wonderful performance from Macarthur. Caceres, for me, best on pitch. But, gee, there's been some great performances from his teammates as well. To give them a lot of confidence. Sorry, Teo, a lot of confidence going into the season, no doubt. Famous victory for Macarthur.
They are off the mark in AFC Champions League 2, and the disappointment of an opening day defeat is overcome. They square away their campaign at 1 win and 1 loss. While for Beijing Guan, the disappointment of a draw and a loss now leaves them in a precarious position in the group. And Group E remains wide open as a result. It's emphatic for Macarthur FC. They defeat Beijing 3-0. And so as handshakes take place in the post-game, Phil Moss, you've given us your thoughts on some of the standout individuals, but what about the momentum this creates for Macarthur? Their next match is on October 23, away in Vietnam against Kongan Hanoi.
Yeah, it creates momentum, it creates belief in what they're doing, and don't forget we're only a couple of weeks away from the start of the domestic season, the Hyundai A-League. The Suzu Ute A-League, I should say. But yeah, this gives them a lot of belief going forward. There's some new players that have got minutes tonight, of course, and I thought there was a very dominant performance right from the very first touch of the game. The kickoff, Macarthur went forward and asked questions. They pressed well. They were well organised. A very, very deserving victory.
So that match coming up on the 23rd, but don't forget 2 days earlier, on Tuesday, the 21st of October, 6:45 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, Melbourne City's next fixture in the Champions League Elite as well. So a couple of weeks without continental football, but it will be back before you know it, match week 3 in the Champions League Elite and the Champions League 2. On behalf of Phil Moss, my name's Teo Pellizzeri. Thanks for your company tonight. Congratulations, Macarthur, on a 3-0 win.